This week on CMA Live All Access, we've got updates from MOREL, MSC, Wet Sounds, and RDV Technologies. This is CMA Live All Access, brought to you by SiriusXM and sponsored by 5 Access Innovations. And it starts now. Now, another brand making a big splash at SEMA this year is none other than Wet Sounds. Now, of course, Wet Sounds, known for their legendary products within the marine space, but in recent years has certainly evolved into multiple category offering. We go now to their product expert, Carl Campbell, who's going to be able to tell us a little bit more about why SEMA is such a big deal for Wet Sounds this year. Carl, what is happening with Wet Sounds as far as SEMA is concerned?
Well, Ben, as you know, the industry as a whole has kind of evolved. It used to be CES was the show that everyone went to, and now it's SEMA. Everything car, everything truck, everything accessory wise is now SEMA. And that's kind of the niche that Wet Sounds has always filled. The audio products for the rough environments and the difficult to provide environments with harsh conditions, harsh weather, dirt, mud. So SEMA just seemed a perfect fit for our products to be brought to the market.
All right, I happen to know that the Zero line of speakers that we've talked about all year has been a big hit, but there's been an expansion to this line to be able to incorporate other applications. We're going to talk about two special cases that Wet Sounds has presented here at SEMA. The first one I want to ask you about, Carl, is the new Jeep kit involving Zero speakers. What can you tell us about that?
Ben, the new Jeep kit that we're going to be rolling out next year, first quarter, is going to be a whole package system. It's going to have front, rear speakers. It's going to have a sub enclosure. It's going to have amps. It's going to have amp kit. It's going to have all the wiring in one box solution. And the great thing is this will fit all of the four-door Jeeps from 2018 newer. It will incorporate all OEM paneling, and it'll incorporate our products seamlessly so that even maybe not the most experienced installer can knock out this product and take care of it, no problem whatsoever.
Now, as we've seen with so many products that Wet Sounds engineers and develops, they think of just about everything. So let's go a little bit deeper into this plug and play kit for Jeeps, Carl. Just how much detail or how much inclusiveness have you put into this kit, whereby literally everything you need to install is in the box?
We've incorporated as much OEM plug and play capability as we possibly can to make the ease of this install as simple as it possibly can be. The amp wiring kit will be at length for the kit for the chassis of the Jeep. The harnesses will plug into the factory locations and speaker locations as well as in the rear of the vehicle. The OEM panels will fit in the same OEM bolt holes and the bolt connections on the soundbar above the Jeep and on the dash. We tried to make this look as OEM as we possibly can, but still provide the amazing sound quality that you're known to get with Wet Sounds products.
And Carl, looking at these images, I really got to point out the cool factor when it comes to things that, Wet Sounds thought about. One being the amp rack that is already there, ready to go to put the amplifiers on. And check out that enclosure. What can you tell us about that?
So that is a rotomold enforced enclosure that will be specific for the Jeep package specifically. It will include two 12-inch Zero subwoofers, and it's specially designed to even be on a hinge where it can flip up. So if the Jeep owner wants to load some gear or travel with all their camping gear, they can still flip the enclosure to a vertical position and then load the truck up and still have all their space. It will come with a 6-channel amplifier that's nearly 1,200 watts once fully engaged and dialed in. And you'll have the ability to adjust the crossover settings to your liking for your music styles as well.
And finally, Carl, I'm going to assume, but I want to hear you say it, these products and this kit is meant for Jeepers. And as you know, Jeepers kind of like to ride without their roof on. So how is this gear set up to be able to withstand these elements?
Well, as the typical marine products go, we build every single product in our Wet Sounds catalog to meet the stringent marine testing and structural categories. So whether it's rain, mud, snow, dirt, our products are designed to handle that type of environment, which is pretty much very a necessity for your Jeepers. And if you look at the rear chasm of the Jeep, we actually have a stage 2 to this kit that you can add if you have stage 1. And stage 2 will incorporate 2 Rev 12 HD tower speakers, an additional amplifier, and all the mounting hardware you need to mount it to the roll bar in the back of the Jeep. So it's going to be a great way for people to accessorize and specialize their Jeep, as all Jeepers are known to do.
Now, as promised, there are two major developments coming from Wet Sounds from SEMA. We talked about the Jeep. Well, guess what? These Zero speakers that are kind of a hot topic are also going to find its way into a motorcycle environment. We've seen some awesome images of these demo vehicles within the SEMA booth of Wet Sounds. Carl, let's just get into it. Zero speakers now for motorcycle?
So when the Zero product was originally designed, we really had motorcycles in mind with this product. We just also wanted to make it kind of span the gambit, whether it was a boat, whether it was a UTV, whether it was a motorcycle. So all the vehicles at SEMA this year have Zero product in them. But what we did with the Zero product for the motorcycle line is we included the DNC connector that a lot of the Harley Davidson product uses. So it's plug and play, as you can see right here, but you still have the connection spades on it if you need to for an older bike or a different branded bike. We didn't want to exclude any other bike product out there and be very Harley Davidson specific. But we're going to be incorporating some packages for next year as well, because we've incorporated Zero product in the 5x7 and 6x8 sizes, as well as the 6x9 size for the baggers that have those top mount bag solutions. Now, the 5x7, 6x8 speaker will not have a grill because it's not needed in those bag design products, whereas the 6x9 will incorporate a grill in case somebody wants to put it into a rear hatch of a car or a boat or what have you. So we've kind of looked at these products not just to touch on motorcycle specific enthusiasts, but really any car audio or 12-volt enthusiast that's out there that might really want a great sounding product that's incredibly durable to all the elements it might be experiencing.
All right, Carl, brand new Zero kits for Jeep application, both a stage 1 and a stage 2. Some cool applications with expanded sizes for motorcycle application. Wrap it up for us, Carl. When are these Zero products available?
So the Jeep package will probably be available late first quarter, Ben. We are kind of fine-tuning the details on that with packaging and availability and the number that are going to hit the US and when. But we're looking probably, like I said, March, April timeframe. As for the motorcycle packages, we're looking early to mid-summer, so mid-second quarter for us. It's really, we don't want to exclude any bike manufacturers and riders out there that maybe like to ride but aren't the Harley Davidson enthusiast. A lot of the packages out there are very Harley specific. So we want to try to incorporate solutions that cross the whole gambit for any bike rider and bike manufacturer.
Hi, Jody from 5 Access here. Just want to bring everybody up to speed with what we do and how we do it. We're a display company. We do a lot of custom graphics. Obviously, we do custom audio boards. We do RGB lighting. We do graphical work up top. We also do all the different custom amp mounts. So for all your store needs, we do front counters, we do home audio sections, we do lighting, everything that you're looking for, give us a call. Again, it's 5 Access, 414-326-7162.
When MSC first launched the Systems by MSC package, it came to great fanfare. Of course, we're talking about application-specific kits that have been engineered to fit absolutely perfectly. Add to that the high-level quality components that MSC delivers, and you've got yourself quite the kit. We go now to MSC, where we have Chris Van Rye standing by for a new announcement for an application for Systems by MSC. Chris, can you tell us some more news?
Hey, Ben. Great to be here to talk about this brand new product that we're launching here. We've had the Systems by MSC category for a little while now, but we really wanted to take what we were hearing back from our dealer partners in this category and push it to the next level, giving them more applications than we've had before. One of the biggest requests that we've seen from the market so far is the new Ford Bronco. This has been a challenge for a lot of dealers to get really good performance out of this vehicle without compromising the vehicle itself, the integrity, and the usability of this super fun vehicle.
Chris, no doubt that the Bronco is certainly one of the most popular platforms out there right now, so it doesn't surprise me at all that the demand for this platform was there. Now, let's get into the components. I'm going to assume that obviously this package is going to be inclusive of brands such as Blam and Audio Tech Fisher. Am I correct?
Absolutely, Ben. You're spot on with that. When it comes to Systems by MSC products and projects, one of the big things that we go through is actually testing all the equipment in the vehicle. It's not just a matter of fitment, what's going to go, what can we make work in this project. It's going through our entire catalog to find out what is going to perform best and deliver the experience that the customer is looking for. So we've gone through and actually verified in vehicle. We've been through about 8 or 10 different speaker systems in these Broncos, trying to find that best application. Amplifiers, same thing, comes down to what fits in the vehicle while still delivering the performance that the client expects to hit the project goals that we've set for ourselves on these guys here. So we're using both Blam, Helix, and Match products in this particular vehicle, as well as A2B integration products. So we've covered off the whole smattering of MSC products in here, making sure that we can deliver the best possible end result. But it's not just about the components that go into the vehicle itself. It gets into the actual installation, making sure that this stuff can go into the car efficiently, effectively, without taking away the performance or the reliability of the vehicle. Serviceability is also a huge impact as well. So when it comes to wiring these systems into the vehicles, getting into things like harnessing, where we've gone through and we've actually pre-built cut to length harnesses that allow us to tie into the vehicle itself, tie into our components that are in place to give the installer the ability to quickly integrate these projects into the car, again, without compromising the values of the vehicle itself. Even when it comes to things like getting the speakers in, it's not just the wiring side of things, but speaker baffles to secure everything in place in the car, hugely important to making sure that speaker performs as designed. We've even included all of those. These are actually aluminum mounts that we build, bolt into the vehicle using factory hardware. And then if you can actually kind of see on there, these are all tapped as well. So these are going to go through and let you secure that speaker straight into the baffle, straight into the car, and MSC includes the harnessing to let you plug straight into the vehicle connectors on that side too. Not only the kick panel speakers, but also the dash speakers. These are using the new Helix Compose 4-inch coax across the top of the dash, as well as the rear speaker pods in the back of the vehicle as well. Comes with everything from your alignment pins and tabs that you need through these guys, and the connectors to allow you to integrate this in. But even above and beyond all the speakers, we still have electronics that need to go in the vehicle as well, which is why we include that powder-coated aluminum amp rack for it as well. Bolts in place using factory hardware, yet again, so no compromise to the vehicle in terms of functionality. Everything is drilled and tapped to allow you to quickly and easily secure all of the electronic components in place. Even little things like our subwoofer system, making sure that these can get into the vehicle itself in a safe and secure way. We actually include all of your brackets for that as well. So these can be bolted in, secured to the vehicle safely and reliably. Making sure that we've got the system going in consistently and repeatably, we even include things like templates, allow you to access and go through all of your mounting holes to secure everything on the hatch of the tailgate, making sure those mounts are in solid, but again, repeatable from vehicle to vehicle. And even above all of that, Systems by MSC includes everything that you need for the package, all the way down to the hardware. Nuts, bolts, threaded inserts, everything you need for the kit, fusing, all of that kind of stuff is included in the package. We even include a secondary little additional hardware bag to make sure that if one rolls behind the toolbox, as we've all had that happen before, you've got everything you need ready to go.
Now, if you haven't tried or seen these Systems by MSC kit, as Chris has demonstrated, they are absolutely complete and turnkey. They have literally thought of everything. Everything is machined, cut, fabricated right there, at their offices and made to fit. The one thing I will add, Chris, I think there's a tremendous value here that you didn't mention, is that it comes with the DSP Cowboy tech support.
Of course, Ben. DSP Cowboy is always here to help. But when it comes to the system itself and everything that goes into it, the parts are one thing. How it integrates into the vehicle is really what it all comes down to, giving the clients an OEM type experience with audiophile level performance. One of the big things we've done is we took on our own enclosure design. Lots of different options available in the market, but we wanted something that was going to be robust and luxurious like the rest of the vehicle is. Ford did an incredible job creating the Bronco experience that balances both those worlds. And we of course have to make sure that that gets integrated in with our design as well. Dual materials on these guys, carpeted sides, vinyl front, of course the metal mesh grille to help keep everything safe and sound from anything that may be in the hatch of the vehicle. But we wanted to go one step further. The little cosmetic integrations, the accessories trim panel that comes on the Bronco on the factory tailgate was a nice little touch that Ford included in there. And we wanted to make sure that if we're keeping Ford happy, keeping their designs intact, little things like that really make a big difference to the owners of these vehicles. So that was a nice little touch that we wanted to keep that experience in there. In the hatch of the vehicle, where that factory Bang & Olufsen subwoofer lives, since we're not using that, that was able to come out, which frees up more than enough space for our new electronics to drop in place in there. This system runs two different match amplifiers, one powering all the mid-range and high-frequency drivers throughout the cabin, and a second one dedicated to this subwoofer. Total power on this system is north of 1,000 watts. Even with the roof off on this thing, there is tons of fun to have, a ton of enjoyment to go through, in addition to the great sound quality improvements that happen throughout the vehicle. The system was no slouch when it comes to delivering the experience and the nature that people are looking for when they're driving their Broncos.
All right, Chris, here's a question I know dealers would want to know. We talked about the hardware, we talked about all the accessories, we talked about tech support, but an important thing when it comes to these type of kits is the tuning. So what has MSC done to facilitate an easy solution as far as tuning is concerned to optimize the performance of this system?
Optimization is always a huge key with these systems. One of the big things behind the Systems by MSC category was making sure that we were able to manage all aspects of the system so that we could deliver a tune that was actually on point for everything that was happening throughout the vehicle. MSC has gone through and spent extensive hours, both ourselves as well as in field with dealer partners, dialing this system in for a variety of styles in music, different applications, and different personal tastes, wanting to make sure that everything is going to put a smile on your customer's face. Using Audio-Tech Fisher's DSP PC tool and all of the benefits that are built into that software really let us do something pretty special when it comes to designing and engineering these systems and delivering that experience.
As per usual, Chris, nothing short of impressive, and I know that every detail and thought is being put into these kits, which, of course, dealers will appreciate when they're looking for a truly 100% turnkey solution. Now, Chris, let's give them the final details. What is the availability of these kits, and what do dealers need to know to find out more?
Really excited to get these products on the street. The new Bronco kit for B&O is actually going to be available and shipping starting next week, next Monday. This is going to be available to all of our Systems by MSC dealers. If you are one of those dealers already, make sure that you get in touch with us and get your name on one of these guys so we can get your allocation in place. If you're interested in becoming a Systems by MSC dealer, come visit us at msc-america.com, reach out to us, and let's see where we can go.
Hey guys, Ricky Lima here from SiriusXM. I had a chance to speak to some dealers and ask them what they love about selling SiriusXM. Here's what they had to say.
Coast-to-coast coverage.
I love SiriusXM for commercial-free music.
It's a great add-on sale and a profit opportunity.
We love selling SiriusXM because you can listen to the same channel coast to coast.
Profitability and ease of installation. It's a no-brainer.
We love selling SiriusXM for its ease of installation, great profitability, and reliability. People love it.
Our next story involves world-renowned high-end speaker manufacturer MOREL, because they've got two brand new hot products that are hitting the market, and one of which has just won an amazing ISA award. We go now to their product specialist, Corey Stockland, to tell us more. Now, Corey, this is a big deal for MOREL. We're talking about the brand new Ultimo Power Slim subwoofer. Can you tell us the details and why you feel this is truly award-winning?
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, we have the brand new Power Slim 10 and 12. that's coming out. It's on the Ultimo line in the reference category, but we have a 10 and a 12 that we came out with, and we saw that we needed a woofer to be able to fit in those tight, restrictive installs like trucks and some of the newer SUVs that don't have a lot of foregoing cargo space. So with our woofers, as you can see, it's a little bit differently designed. We have a flat piston design, which allows us to make it happen. So it has a 3.1 inch mounting depth for the 10, and then we have a 3.4 inch mounting depth for the 12. The biggest thing about this woofer is we can actually drive this thing at 700 watts RMS and up to 1800 watts peak. The frequency response on the woofer is an astounding 20 hertz all the way up to 500 hertz on the 12. We have a dual voice coil system on this to be able to make it so that it matches with our limited amplifiers perfectly, so you have a good amount of power. And on top of that, we have the Uniflow chassis in the back to be able to make sure that we have plenty of breathing room for those voice coils and for that motor structure. We also use the Hexatech voice coil former, and it's a 5.1 inch voice coil, so you get an incredible amount of control off of that cone. And then on top of that, we have that heat dissipation and that power handling of that 700 watts. But we also use that EVC motor to be able to make it so that the motor sits inside the voice coil, so we can get that shallow mounting depth and the overall compact size so that it fits in the majority of vehicles we work with.
Wow, Corey, these are some very impressive specs, and I honestly didn't expect any less coming from MOREL. Now, let's talk a little bit about practical use and the type of volume it would take for both the 10-inch and the 12-inch, and what type of enclosure is MOREL recommending?
So most of the time with these woofers, obviously, we're going to be using as small of an enclosure as possible. So we built these designed around a 0.5 cubic foot sealed enclosure for the 10 and a 0.8 cubic foot sealed enclosure for the 12. Now, that's obviously where most of these are probably going to fit. But if you really, really want to get the maximum performance out of these woofers, we suggest a 0.8 cubic foot ported enclosure for the 10 tuned down to 26 hertz. And then the 12 is in a 1.4 cubic foot ported enclosure tuned to 24. And that will maximize the transfer function into the vehicle. So you get a really, really nice, smooth response. And it plays incredibly low all the way down to the 20s like you're looking for.
And lastly, Corey, this is an award-winning driver. MOREL's got to be proud of that. I mean, there's a lot of stiff competition in this arena. I'd like to hear in your words what this award means to MOREL for this Ultimo Power Slim sub.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to be rewarded with obviously the award. We're not the most standout subwoofer manufacturer out there, and sadly, unfortunately, we don't. But we make some incredible products, and I think that we have a little bit different shift in look at the way that we build woofers. We want the maximum amount of SQ, maximum amount of detail, accuracy, everything along those lines to make it so that the customer has the best experience possible. And sometimes we get lost in the mix a little bit. So winning this award really makes it so that we can kind of hang our hat and know that we're doing the right process and the right work for our customers.
Shifting now to another new series coming to you from MOREL. Now, as you know, MOREL, high-end speaker manufacturer known for audiophile performance. But here's another take on a very, very popular category, which is, of course, OEM integration. A new series coming to you called the Uni 82. And Corey, tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, so obviously we're trying to cover audiophile stuff. And one of the things that we kind of overlook is maybe somebody that just wants to simply swap out the factory gear and get that audiophile grade response and tonality out of their car. So one of the things that we saw is some of these newer vehicles that have 6x9 component sets, we're seeing kind of a lack in the industry of replacement options, and usually they're entry level at best. So we wanted to give you a good solution to be able to run off of factory power, and then also be able to upgrade to aftermarket power if you want to. And the way that we did that is we went to a 8-inch woofer, and as you can see, it's 1.9 inches deep. But it has a efficiency of 92 dB. So that means that you can use it off of that factory amplifier and not lose any output. But with that 8-inch driver, we're still able to get that bass and everything that most of the factory systems utilize these 6x9s to be able to try to fake the bass without having to have the factory subwoofer. So we're doing that with the 8-inch driver. We also are utilizing a front-mounted neodymium magnet to be able to make it so that we can get as much driver out of this thing as possible without impacting the install. So we have great power handling at 100 watts RMS and 300 watts peak. We also offer a 1-inch tweeter to be able to make it so it's a full component set. It has inline crossovers to make the install simple, but also be able to use the factory wiring and just drop straight in. And lastly, the one thing that we're really trying to focus on with this is obviously the frequency response is really good with 40 hertz up to 20,000 hertz to match that factory response. But going with all the OEM factors, we are going to be introducing vehicle-specific brackets to make this install even easier for shops or consumers to put them in their vehicles. This will make it so that like Toyota, Chrysler, anything that has a 6x9 that we can physically make a bracket for, you'll be able to mount that, put it straight back into the factory locations, and you won't have to worry about cutting anything, modifying any of the wiring, anything along those lines.
Really slick and stout design with some cool options, as you mentioned, with those application-specific brackets that will be available. I guess my question to you is, from an install standpoint, is this a type of product that we could sell to the customer saying that they're going to perform great under factory power, or are they really meant for aftermarket amplification?
So the original concept for the Uni 82 is a factory replacement. So it is designed with that high efficiency and the lightweight diaphragm and everything along those lines to make it so that it is drop-in ready for the factory head unit and amplifier or amplifier. So yes, you can do low power systems and be just fine as far as the clarity and frequency response and everything that you're coming to expect with a MOREL product to be put into the car. Utilizing as simple of an avenue as possible. But with the double stack magnet, neodymium magnet on the front, we actually make it so that you have the option and the ability to add aftermarket amplifiers to this to really enhance the system as time goes on or when the budget is ready. It's kind of a way to be able to make it so the customer can tiptoe into a higher end system without having to really take a big chunk of their budget and throw it towards amplifiers and speakers. You can kind of piecemeal it together if you want.
So, Corey, we talked about both of the Ultimo Power Slim subwoofer as well as these new Uni 82 OEM integration style speakers. Let's talk about availability and when can dealers get their hands on some?
Yeah, so the Uni 82 is available right now. It's been available for a couple of months. So if you're looking to get that product, contact your distributor. It should be there, no problem. And then the Power Slim, obviously with our award and everything, it's a very hot topic. So if you're interested in it, it should be arriving at your distributor shortly or already there. So make sure you get your orders in because we are filling back orders right now and more are coming. But it's definitely something that everybody's looking for. So get on top of it.
CE Outlook is dedicated to keeping the car audio and electronics industry informed on the latest issues, trends, and product releases. New feature stories posted daily. Visit ceoutlook.com for the latest industry news. Well, as you guys are all aware, SEMA is going down right now in Las Vegas. So many different products being announced. But we go to interview a gentleman that has come on to CMA quite a few times. Of course, he represents RDV Technologies, and he's got some new announcements. And guess what? He's coming to us from Vegas. Let's go now to Rich Disclafani from RDV. Rich, how's it going, first of all? How's the SEMA experience? And tell us a little bit more about what's going down in Vegas.
Hey, Ben, as always, man, thank you so much for having me on. Yeah, here in Vegas at SEMA. So the show kicks off today. Just got in last night. So it's been hectic getting set up and everything. And so far, everything looks great. Got to see a bunch of people last night and catch up and really excited to hit the floor and see what's going on, see if there's any new stuff out there. And really excited for some new product announcements from myself as well.
You know what's really interesting about our conversation today, Rich, is you don't actually have a booth on the SEMA floor, but yet you go anyways. I just want you to share with us a little bit about the strategy from your perspective as a supplier, but maybe not a supplier that is quite yet committed to having a booth at a show like SEMA yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just out here doing my thing, networking, meeting people. I have a lot of meetings going on. I have a lot of dealers and distributors that I'm meeting with and, looking at prospective products that are out there and stuff like that, and just kind of seeing what's going on in the market, getting to see a bunch of different people that I really don't get to see very often, and see some custom builds by a lot of the really, really top-notch shops that I work with on a daily basis. So it's just really good to get out here and catch up with everybody and, do some business and network and, just catch up with a lot of old friends and people that I don't get to see very often. So very productive overall, just being out here and, absorbing everything and being around everybody.
Well, that sounds great, and I am a little bit jealous that you're there and I'm here. But let's get into it. You're on live today. Obviously, there's some new announcements and some product categories for RDV Technologies. So let's get into it. Great timing, Rich. What do we want to talk about first? Let's talk about some product upgrades.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I mean, we've been working really hard on making improvements across the board on all the interfaces, from adding compatibility to adding features, to enhancing the user experience. So for a little while now, we've already had Bluetooth capabilities built into most of our CP1 interfaces. So really, really nice upgrade on those. I've had it for a few months already, just haven't had an opportunity to really put the word out. But basically, these now utilize the factory Bluetooth for all of the music streaming, navigation prompts, and Siri, rather than going through the aux in newer vehicles that are capable of doing Bluetooth streaming as well. So it's a little easier on the install side. You don't necessarily have to run to the aux. And it gives the user, the end user, the owner of the vehicle, the ability to utilize the CarPlay and still have the exact same level of volume and sound quality that they had prior to having the kit installed, because they were already using their factory Bluetooth for phone calls and for music streaming and everything else. So it makes it a little more user-friendly in that aspect, because there's no adjustments that need to be made, and the owner of the vehicle is already used to how it sounds and what to expect as far as sound quality and the volume level. And additionally, it helps on the install side. So like a lot of the newer vehicles, newer BMWs, newer Mercedes, usually you have to use a USB to aux adapter because there's not even a traditional analog aux input in those cars. So in those cases, you have to run a 3.5 millimeter aux cable from the interface to the USB to aux adapter, leave it plugged into the console, which aesthetically is not the best option. And additionally, you have to make sure that you're in that specific source, which you still have to be in the Bluetooth source either way, but it's a little easier to stay in Bluetooth because that's kind of what you've always been in anyway. So yeah, really, really nice upgrade on those to start off the CP1 interfaces, the CarPlay interfaces. So yeah, really, really nice upgrade there.
Yes, the power of Bluetooth comes through again. Very nice upgrade, Rich. Congratulations on that for those CP1 units. Now, what about the streamers? Because I believe there's some cool upgrades that are the streamers will be receiving as well.
Thanks, Ben. I'm really, really excited about the streamer upgrades. We have a whole new hardware platform for the streamer, starting with a upgraded chipset, which of course is the heart and brain and core of the streamer itself. So brand new upgraded chipset, super fast, super responsive, Qualcomm Snapdragon, top of the line chipset. And this new streamer now provides a ton of features that the other one didn't have. Dual zone HDMI output, which allows you to have one thing playing on the front screen and something else playing on the rear. So you can have CarPlay on the front screen and Disney Plus on the rear, or YouTube on the front and Netflix on the rear screen, control everything from the front. So really, really nice upgrade to have dual zone HDMI output. It also does 4K video out, so it gives you 4K resolution out, which is really, really nice as well. Also, this is now compatible with aftermarket Sony radios. So the new streamer will work on aftermarket Sony radios. So it's pretty much compatible with any radio with wired CarPlay at this point. And then another really, really cool thing about the new streamer is it will accept any SIM card. The last generation streamer had some issues with some of the newer SIM cards that the carriers are issuing, and this one is compatible with all of the new SIM cards, so there's no issues with any of the numbers or registering the SIMs or anything like that. So really, really nice upgrade on the streamer. They're available and shipping now.
We're going to keep this flow of updates going on, Rich, because there seems to be some pretty exciting ones. Let's circle back also to the mirror device.
Really excited also to announce a new CPA mirror module. It's called the CPAA Mirror-S, And this new hardware is now compatible with Sony. So this is a major upgrade as far as the mirror goes, because now we have another CPA mirror that is compatible with Sony. So now we cover, just like with the streamer, we cover all radios with wired CarPlay. So really, really nice addition to the CPA mirror line of products. We have the CPA mirror, now we have the CPA mirror-S. Specifically for Sony radios, which also works on other radios as well, just like the regular CPA mirror, but we have added the Sony compatibility. So we will be running both products concurrently. And yeah, now we have Sony compatibility. So really, really excited about that. Really nice upgrade.
Okay, Rich, we're going to keep the good times rolling because I see here a whole new list of applications that you're going to announce right here, right now for CarPlay.
Absolutely. We've been crazy hard at work, bringing new products down the pipeline. Really excited to announce the release of a whole bunch of new CarPlay interfaces. So we'll get right into it. We now support Toyota, which was a big brand for us. A lot of requests for Toyota vehicles. So now we support Toyota with the InTouch 2 or the Intune 2 radios. So really, really nice support there for Toyota, all plug and play. Really, really nice solution. We also now have for Mazda as well with the Connect system. So we can add CarPlay to Mazdas with the Connect system, usually about, 15, 16 and up on Mazdas. So really, really nice addition to the family. So 2 new imports in the Toyota and the Mazda compatibility. And then, really kind of going into my wheelhouse is the European vehicles. And we have some really nice new compatibility for some newer vehicles. We have a new interface for VW with the radios in the glove compartment, like the Tiguan, for example. So we have fully integrated CarPlay from the touchscreen on those VWs with the radio in the glove box. And then for Mercedes, we have 2 new CarPlay interfaces for the NTG 5.5 and the NTG 6. These are newer Mercedes, usually about 2018, 2019, 2020s. In some cases, they still didn't come with CarPlay. So now we have solutions for those newer vehicles like the E-Class, the S-Class, and even like the AMG GT and vehicles like that. With the newer infotainment systems, that did not come with CarPlay for some reason, but we have solutions for those. I just recently ran into a 2020 GLK or GLC, I'm sorry, that didn't have CarPlay. So we have a solution for that with NTG6. So really, really nice options for Mercedes now. We cover Mercedes from 2007 all the way up to 2020, 2021, depending on how the vehicle is equipped. So really excited to announce those products for Mercedes as well. And then last but not least, we have a new product for Land Rover, Range Rover with the 10-inch screens. So newer Range Rovers, around 17, 18, Land Rover, Range Rover, Jaguar that have the 10-inch screen. We now have a product available for those as well. Previously, we only supported the 8-inch, and now we have support for the 10-inch also. So across the board, really, really nice solutions to add CarPlay to vehicles that didn't come with it. And we're expanding the lineup regularly. So really excited.
Great news for all those new applications, Rich. And with the small time that we have left, let's talk about the backup camera interfaces you have. Also, some new applications announced right now.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, really, really excited as well to introduce some new backup camera interfaces also. Now with a little bit of a void in the market, we are going to really try to push hard and capitalize on the opportunity. And we have released some new camera interfaces for Mercedes and for Porsche. Specifically, Porsche, we can now, mostly it's for front camera on these applications because these cars already have rear camera, but we can add front camera up to Porsche 2023, as well as Mercedes up to 2023. We cover on the Porsche side the NTG5 radio, the PCM5 radio on Porsche. So we cover from the PCM3 all the way up to the PCM5s now. We can add camera to all of them. And additionally, the same thing with Mercedes. We now cover the NTG 5.5 and NTG 6 with a camera interface. So we could add front camera to any of those vehicles as well, which is a really, really nice upgrade to the backup camera lineup, because a lot of people are looking for front camera for these vehicles, especially on the sports cars, Porsche and whatnot. So really, really nice upgrade and nice opportunity to provide a solution for those vehicles.
Mark your calendar. CMA Expo is returning in 2024 to the Toronto Congress Centre on April 5th, 6th, and 7th. A huge thank you to all the Canadian dealers who attended and made the inaugural event such an amazing success. You spoke and we listened. Thanks to your feedback, we've implemented some important changes to enhance your experience even further. Confirmed exhibitors for the 2024 CMA Expo are Automobility, Importel, Trends Electronics, Gemsen Distribution, JVC Kenwood, Gentech International, Pioneer, Dix Performance, SiriusXM, Ericsson Consumer, Metra, Amp Global, Fortin. Stay tuned for the early bird registration slated for October 5th. For more information and the latest updates, follow us on social or visit cmaexpo.ca. Keep it locked on cmanetworks.com as we broadcast fresh content daily with new videos dropping Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. This is CMA Live All Access, brought to you by SiriusXM and presented by 5 Axis Innovations. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM with over 150 channels in your vehicle. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.